Hi, I'm Luis Larraín. I'm the president of Fundación Iguales. In this class, we will deal with the legal recognition of same-sex couples, which has been an increasing trend for the last 25 years. We will address the main arguments that justify it, its current global status, and the situation of their children. The world is a very diverse place when it comes to the legal status of same-sex couples. While over 70 countries still criminalize same-sex relations and a similar number simply tolerate them without recognizing them, an increasing number of countries give them different kinds of legal recognition as they realize the unequal treatment this population receives. In fact, this inequality must be considered as a human rights violation, not only because of the breach of the general principle of equality and non-discrimination between homo and heterosexuals, but more specifically because of the breach of the right to marry and to found a family, which is granted by Article 16 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Moreover, in both the universal human rights system and in some regional ones, there are specific instruments which state that discrimination based on sexual orientation is inadmissible. Beyond the international human rights law frame, the concrete unfulfilled needs of same-sex couples make a good common sense argument for their recognition and protection. Among those needs, the economic ones are probably the easiest to understand for most people. Unlike legally recognized couples, same-sex partners in most countries are not entitled to benefit economically in any way from their partners or their relationship. They cannot have joint health insurance or tax or credit benefits while alive and do not receive any inheritance, retirement funds, or life insurance when one of them dies, which leaves them in a position of sharp economic disadvantage compared to their straight counterparts. Still, the unfulfilled needs are not only economic. Gays and lesbians in most countries are not able to make the most important decisions in their partners' lives. As they are not legally bonded, unrecognized partners in life and death situations might not be allowed access to intensive care units to visit their loved ones, or to decide whether life support shall be used, organs shall be donated, or how and where they shall be buried. So far, we have considered the human rights violations experienced by adults, but what about their children? Those who have same-sex parents in countries where same-sex parenting is not recognized have a legal bond with only one of them. This leaves those children critically unprotected in case of separation of their parents or death of any of them, as custody, visitation, and all sorts of economic rights, including child support, will not be assured. Beside all the concrete needs of same-sex couples that can be fulfilled by their recognition, we cannot forget the symbolic importance that their recognition entails. It doesn't only benefit same-sex couples, but also creates a more inclusive society, one that values diversity and where everyone can feel a part of it. This is particularly important for LGBT teenagers, among whom there is a worryingly high rate of depression and suicide. Their distress can be significantly lowered if they envision a future where they won't be social pariahs. Although human rights issues, by definition, should not depend on public support, it can't be denied that public opinion plays a big role in pushing the political agenda forward. Social acceptance of homosexuality is something that politicians tend to take into consideration. According to the Pew Research Center, 88% of Spaniards, 80% of Canadians, 79% of Australians, 74% of Argentinians, 73% of Filipinos, 40% of Israelis, and 32% of South Africans agree that society should accept homosexuality, which makes clear that there are more supporters than detractors in many countries, and that there are regional and cultural divides on the issue, but also that it is not necessarily a Western concern. As of January 2016, same-sex unions are currently recognized in many different ways around the globe in 44 countries. The most common way is equal marriage, which usually provides same-sex couples exactly the same rights as married opposite-sex couples. Unlike other ways of recognition, it has the symbolic added value of full equality, meaning no difference in rights, but neither in name, just marriage open to all citizens. Besides, there is a series of other possibilities of recognition ranging from robust civil unions that grant couples the same rights as marriage, but just not the name, such as the case of Malta, to very weak and highly symbolic unregistered cohabitation, which grant only immigration or inheritance rights, such as the case of Costa Rica. In addition to the Netherlands, which legalized it in 2001, equal marriage has been approved in another 20 countries: Argentina, Belgium, Brazil, Canada, Denmark, Finland, France, Iceland, Ireland, Luxembourg, Mexico, New Zealand, Norway, Portugal, South Africa, Spain, Sweden, the United Kingdom, the United States, and Uruguay. Among these, some remarkable cases are the United Kingdom, where it's legal for over 90% of the population, England, Scotland, and Wales, but not Northern Ireland, Mexico, a federal state where the Supreme Court has ruled that state bans on same-sex marriage are unconstitutional, and judges throughout the nation must approve all same-sex marriage applications, but it doesn't automatically change state law, thus creating an implementation problem and a case-by-case approach. And Finland, where the parliament approved it in 2014, but it will only take effect in 2017. Regarding other forms of recognition different from marriage, after Denmark, where registered partnership of same-sex couples are legal since 1989, there are now 23 countries where they exist. 19 where same-sex couples are recognized throughout the whole country: Andorra, Austria, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Croatia, Cyprus, the Czech Republic, Ecuador, Estonia, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Israel, Liechtenstein, Malta, San Marino, Slovenia, and Switzerland, plus other 4 where they are recognized only in some areas: Australia, Japan, Italy, and Taiwan. The political processes that have led to these different kinds of recognition also differ. While in most countries it has been the legislative branches that have approved them, in some other cases the decision has come from the judicial branch, such as the United States. Ireland constitutes a unique case, as it was the people who approved it via referendum. In most countries where same-sex marriage is legal, and some countries where other kinds of recognition of same-sex couples exist, legal same-sex parenting also exists. While de facto same-sex parenting might exist in every country, legal same-sex parenting occurs only when both parents are legally fathers or mothers of their children. Although same-sex couples can't naturally procreate, there are a number of ways that have enabled them to become parents. First, there's the adoption of abandoned children. In some places where legal same-sex parenting doesn't exist, one of them can adopt them as a single parent, only they will be raised by both. In some countries, both parents are able to adopt children jointly, either with the same or less priority than other opposite-sex couples. Assembled families are also very common. Some people have children by natural means with their opposite-sex partners before coming out as lesbian, gay, or bisexual, and raise those children with their new same-sex partners. If the law allows it, and if they don't have another living legal parent, gays and lesbians can adopt their partner's children. Another way of becoming parents is through assisted reproduction. Lesbians can have children via insemination. While one of them gets pregnant and gives birth, the fertilized egg can be hers or donated by her partner. Either way, both will be the children's mothers in practice, though only one of them might be so according to the law. Gays can have children via surrogacy. Usually, one of them donates his sperm, and a surrogate mother carries the fetus in her womb and gives birth. The egg can be hers or also donated by some other woman. Thank you for watching this class. Please visit moogchile.com.